Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. I'm still waiting for the evidence. The left keeps talking about racism. They see racism everywhere. It exists everywhere. It exists in white people and they don't even know it. That's what they tell you, right? Then in simple discussion, curious people ask, well, could you please provide an example of said racism? And the response is usually something to the effect of... And that's a defense mechanism because they don't have an answer to the question. The greatest example of the white extremist militia threat that the far left tends to point to is like Kyle Rittenhouse or something. Leftoids living in their little precious bubbles still haven't learned the real facts of the Kyle Rittenhouse case. It's either that or, Jussie Smollett or something. There's never actually an example of racism, whether it be an individual case or the Goliath evil known as systemic racism. There's never an example. But when it comes to leftist racism, when it comes to Democrat racism, boy are the examples plentiful. Well, here's another one, brought to you courtesy of Boston's left-wing mayor, Michelle Wu. Let me show you guys the latest scandal. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, friends, so here's what happened. This is Michelle Wu, the mayor of the city of Boston. She has quite an interesting history. Some call her the wokest mayor in America. I mean, she's bought into all of it. But the one thing that she loves the most about academic leftism, well, she seems to have an avid, very active love of the woke free pass that she gets for being racist, as long as it's targeting white people.
And we will continue to work in partnership with community members as we strategize and plan and coordinate to respond to not one-off incidents, but this growing rise and trend in white supremacy and hate.
I'm getting used to dealing with problems that are expensive, disruptive, and white.
Yep, that's Michelle Wu for you. Pretty much her entire shtick, her entire political, persona, is that she's the woke mayor challenging whiteness, or as her TikTok sisters say it.
I say,
Now, I can't think of a way to describe any of this in any other way other than, well, racist. Michelle Wu is a left-wing racist. I mean, I provided some starting evidence. Let's add some more. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu is now in a little bit of a scandal as her team sent out this email invite, elected of color holiday party tomorrow. Denise Dos Santos, who's the director for city council relations at the Office of Intergovernmental Relations under Michelle Wu in the city of Boston, writes, "Honorable members, on behalf of Mayor Michelle Wu, I cordially invite you and guests to the Electeds of Color holiday party on Wednesday, December 13th at 5:30 p.m. at a certain location. Please let me know if you plan to attend and if you have any dietary restrictions." Nothing better than a beautifully written, very eloquent, host-like letter written that's completely racist and excludes white people. What an absolute joke. Michelle Wu then doubles down in two separate interviews, defending the event as a long-standing tradition.
It's been a long-standing tradition. It was my turn to host. It's happened every single year, and also multiple other parties that everyone has been invited to. So, for example, Monday we're hosting the holiday party that the city hosts every single year, and inviting all of the city council, the state legislature, all of our elected officials, along with our cabinet, just to thank everyone and celebrate for the holidays. So there are many, many invitations out there. I think we've had individual conversations with everyone, so people understand that it was truly just an honest mistake that went out in typing the email field, and I look forward to celebrating with everyone at the holiday parties that we will have besides this one as well. So it is my intention that we can, again, be a city that lives our values and create space for all kinds of communities to come together.
But she did at one point apologize for one thing in those clips. She apologized for accidentally emailing the email to white people. I've always been a visual learner, a visual person in general. So for me, the best way to make the point is to show you the photo that the New York Post released when covering this story. This really puts it into perspective now, doesn't it? One group of people invited, another group barred, not allowed entrance. Is it because you're not part of the same crew? What we're talking about here is basically a government office party where only some employees were allowed to come and the others were discriminated against due to the color of their skin. Does that sound progressive to you? You know, the leftist fear-mongering that we see surrounding Donald Trump and his Make America Great Again slogan tends to center around regression. Trump wants to take us back. But that's fear-mongering political rhetoric. What's really taking us back is the woke Democrat push to bring back segregation. That's exactly what this is. That's exactly what woke people are doing at all kinds of college campuses.
UC Berkeley, which is publicly funded, hosted a graduation ceremony for black students only, an event the taxpayer-funded university has hosted every year since 2013. But critics say the event does more to divide students than to bring them together.
College graduation isn't for another month, but certain planned graduation celebrations at Grand Valley State University are already getting national attention.
Lauren Edwards was on campus this afternoon to get the students' perspective.
Recently, an email from Grand Valley State University went out to some students highlighting the school's graduation celebrations that honor GVSU's diversity. It's since gained national attention, some viewing it as controversial.
That's fine, but I don't want that to subtract away from the regular graduation ceremony.
Some students agreed with the national attention and say it's segregating the graduates.
A graduation ceremony is when we all come together and say, hey, we all just graduated college, we just did it. But if you just attend the LGBT graduation, it makes me wonder, like, why just attend that?
You know, it's ironic because the progressive vision seems to be the only one taking us backwards. You know, Kamala Harris stood on that Democrat debate stage, pointed the finger at Joe Biden, and called him a racist for supporting segregated busing back when she was a child. The leftoids cheered, while at the same time, at many prominent left-wing colleges and universities, you actually see segregated graduation ceremonies. You know, it's the typical Wojak meme. Joe Biden and segregated buses, bad. Racist segregated graduation ceremonies? Wojak very excited. I mean, they actively practice segregation. And what I mean by that is excluding white people from community groups and even entire spaces on college campuses. We all remember the little racist ASU scandal, right?
Cool. You just said we have to leave.
No, I said you're making this space uncomfortable. But you're white. Do you understand what a multicultural space? It means you're not being centered.
White's not a culture?
No, it's not a culture. It's white is not a culture. Say it again to the camera. You think whiteness is a culture?
Where two white students were publicly harassed and told to leave a library because they were doing some sort of woke no whites allowed event. You know, some people call this stuff reverse racism. I don't call it anything of the sort. It's just pure racism. It's leftist racism. The examples are endless. Yet supposedly the group that has a monopoly on claiming racism and making it a political issue, the left, when we ask them, provide a single freaking example of this racist boogeyman that you keep telling us about, well, 2 a.m. Juicy Smollett just ain't gonna cut it. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.